Number 94 from HMV's premium collection and released in 1987 is The Hidden, which has this wonderfully kind of throwback 50s cover about it, which I really do love. And this was a movie that I'd often heard about, that I saw a lot of posters and trailers for way back in the late 80s at the video shop when I used to frequent there all the time. And it was just a movie that I, for some reason, never got round to checking out, which is a real shame. And I was expecting this kind of science fiction thriller movie, and what I got was just completely fantastic action. This was a big action movie right from the start of the movie, really unexpected and incredibly fun, and it doesn't go for a lot of surprises. It just lays everything out for the viewer almost instantly within the first 10-15 minutes of the film, and it's wonderful for that. We get thrown into this robbery at the start as this man walks into a bank, kills a load of people, jumps into his Ferrari because he loves Ferraris, and then goes on a wild car chase as everybody, all the police officers in the whole world seemingly, are trying to catch him, and he's just taking people out, whether it be a man in a wheelchair stuck in the middle of the road or anybody else who gets in his way. He's just destroying everybody. It's even got that fantastic moment where guys are moving a large sheet of glass, which I've never seen happen in my entire life, but seems to happen in movies all the time. Just in perfect time for the car to career through it. This time it takes out the two carriers as well, which was kind of a fun moment. But it ends in a bloodbath, and we get taken to the hospital where the perpetrator is almost dying, and the police are kind of happy they've got their man. He's going to die a death. We find out he's been on a rampage for like 3 weeks, just destroying everything. And when they leave the room, this man who was at death's door stands up, opens his mouth next to the person who's lying in the bed next to him, and spits this gigantic, god-awful looking space slug into his mouth. And this is within the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, and I am sold. This is wonderful. I love the practical effects, the needless violence, the typical rock music of the time, and the fact that this is just going to have a quick runtime. It's going to have performances that ultimately don't really matter in the movie because it's just action, and it's got lots of fun bad people. Normally with movies like this, where you have a constantly changing antagonist, you can kind of lose the value because one bad guy ends, another one comes across, but we have that tactile feeling of this is the alien infecting people, but every time it goes to a bad person, they keep doing horrible stuff, which is incredibly fun as well, and just gives you this endearing character, even though it's constantly changing its appearance. It has a similar kind of language, the way it talks, and definitely a penchant for violence, which I just loved. We get introduced to Kyle MacLachlan's Gallagher character, who comes in to work with a local detective of Beck, who really can't be bothered with this. He's got other things to do, but goes along with this rather emotionless new FBI agent without checking in the credentials of that, to hunt down this madman who every time gets caught. Gallagher brings up a new suspect who was the last person they were in contact with, and they start chasing after that person. But what I loved most about this movie is that there's no pretense. Action, explosion, gunfights, violence. This is what you will get with The Hidden, and they will revel in it, and revel they do. It's wonderfully exciting, wonderfully violent and bloody, just epitomising the late 80s. I could just see like Arnold or Stallone doing this kind of movie. I don't think it would have been as much fun than having these other actors in the place, but it's great. And the practical effects are wonderful. That slug, as it comes out of people's mouths and into other people's, is horribly disgusting and yucky, icky. It has a real terrible feeling to it, which yet again, practical effects rule way more than CGI nonsense. There's a real weight and ickiness to this thing. I just loved the movie. Although you don't have characters to really get drawn in by, or emotional beats that make you go, that you want to, see these characters survive, it doesn't give you a chance to breathe. It doesn't give you a chance to go, oh, I wish we had a more relatable protagonist. We don't care. It's just, get me to that next explosion. It will be here in T-5 minutes. Fantastic. I thought The Hidden was wonderful. Really pulpy genre stuff. Very action specific. A movie that I feel as if I've encountered something along the storyline before, and something that I could think would be wonderfully to be either remade or to have sequels of this brought on now, because I think it would still work incredibly well. The Hidden was a whole lot of 80s action funapalooza. I loved it. Such my kind of thing. I'm so glad I picked it up. Can't believe I waited so long to check this one out. I would love to know what you think of The Hidden. I know from my recent videos that a lot of people have picked this up, and kudos to you. You've made a wonderful choice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.